What if I told you that some state quarters in your pocket change could be worth thousands, even millions of dollars? That's right, what looks like just 25 cents might actually be a hidden treasure. From rare minting errors to ultra-low mintages, a few of these state quarters have become shockingly valuable to collectors. That we're diving deep into the top 7 most valuable state quarter dollars you need to watch for, and some of them could still be in circulation today. So grab your change jar and get ready to discover which quarters could make you rich. We're diving deep into the mystery, magic, and money behind the 2002 The Ohio State Quarter Dollar. Will uncover the fascinating origin of the Ohio State Quarter, what makes the Denver Mint version so special. The Ohio State Quarter was the 17th coin released in the 50 State Quarters program, and it officially entered circulation in 2002. Ohio holds a unique place in American history. It's known as the birthplace of aviation pioneers. This is why the quarter's reverse design proudly displays how to identify rare 2002 D errors. Now, let's talk about how you can spot one of these incredibly valuable errors. Here are the top features to look for on a 2002 D Ohio State Quarter. Wrong planchet weight and color. Use a sensitive digital scale. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If your coin is lighter or heavier, especially near 8 grams or 5 grams, you may have a wrong planchet. Double strikes. Check for signs of doubling, especially around the Wright brothers plane, the astronaut, or the Ohio text. Look for off-angle or shifted impressions. Off-center strike. Any coin with the design noticeably off-center by more than 15% can be extremely valuable, especially with a clear date and mint mark. Market value and auction records. Let's talk cold, hard numbers. As of 2025, here's what collectors and dealers have paid for rare 2002 D Ohio era quarters. Off-center strikes with more than 50% of the design missing. Sold at auction for $2,000 to $4,500, depending on grade and eye appeal. Double struck errors in MS65 plus condition. Sold for $7,500 to $12,000. Wrong planchet errors, on nickel, penny, or foreign planchets between $15,000 to $35,000 based on clarity and uniqueness. Full blockage or die clash with clean strikes and high grade, between $20,000 to $50,000. Mule planchet errors, like the Sacagawea strike, $150,000 to $198,500, and climbing. That's right, one rare 1999 P Connecticut State Quarter Dollar has stunned the coin collecting world by reaching auction values as high grade. This isn't just pocket change, this is a hidden treasure, possibly sitting unnoticed in someone's coin jar, drawer, or wallet right now. Let's rewind to the late 1999, a time of new millennium excitement, Y2K fears, and one of the most ambitious coin programs in U.S. mint history, the 50 State Quarters program. Launched in 1999, the program was designed to honor each U.S. state with its own unique quarter design. The quarters were released in the order the states ratified the Constitution or were admitted into the Union. Real auction sales proof of value. Okay, we've talked about what these coins are, but are they really worth $250,000? Let's look at the cold, hard numbers. Here are some real-world auction examples and expert appraisals. Auction records and sales. In 1999, P Connecticut Quarter with double strike and off-center error sold for $25,000 at auction in 2020. And this wasn't even in perfect condition. A broad-struck, double-denomination Connecticut Quarter was evaluated at nearly $45,000 by PCGS. A full-strike Connecticut Quarter on a foreign planchet was insured for $80,000. An authenticated specimen combining broad strike plus double strike plus obverse clash, with only a handful known to exist, was given a high auction estimate of $150,000 to $200,000. How to identify a 1999 P Connecticut State Quarter Dollar? So you're probably thinking, could I have one of these quarters? Here's how to check. What to look for: mint mark P on obverse, Philadelphia Mint. Off-center strike, Washington's face may be shifted or cut off. No rim or weird shape, broad strike or elliptical. Doubling of tree, text, or face, double strike. Struck on wrong planchet, too small, too thin, wrong metal color. Raised blobs or ghost designs, cut or die clash weight the coin. A standard quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. Wrong planchet coins might weigh significantly less or more. If you think you found one, do not clean. Instead, submit it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading and authentication. Today, we're diving deep into the jaw-dropping story of the rarest 2000p South Carolina State Quarter Dollar. We'll explore the minting mistakes that make it a unicorn among coins, the shocking truth behind its astronomical value, and how you can check if you're sitting on a six-figure fortune. To understand the magnitude of this rare 2000p era coin, we need to rewind just a bit. The 50 State Quarters program, launched by the U.S. Mint in 1999, was a masterstroke of modern numismatics. Every year, 5 new quarters were released, each honoring a different U.S. state in the order they joined the Union. auction records and market madness. Let's get to the real excitement, the dollars. In the numismatic world, auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections have sold some of these golden-hued errors for staggering sums. Top verified auction sales: a 2000p South Carolina quarter struck on a manganese brass experimental planchet sold for $200,000 at a private auction. Another example, graded NGC MS67, reportedly sold for $250,000, with collectors noting its perfect surfaces and golden tone. In 2023, rumors swirled of an off-the-books sale of a 2000p South Carolina error quarter for nearly $300,000, though the details remain closely guarded by elite collectors. These aren't urban legends. These are real coins, with documented provenance, grading, and auction records to back them. How to identify a 2000p South Carolina state quarter dollar? So now the big question: how can you tell if you've got one of these treasures? Here's what to look for in your coin roll hunts: pocket change, or old family boxes. Checklist to spot a rare 2000p South Carolina error. Color: if your 2000p South Carolina quarter is golden, not silver, pay attention. Weight: use a precision scale. A normal quarter is 5.67 grams. If yours is closer to 5.9 g, 6.3 g, that's a red flag, in a good way. Thickness: the edge may look different. Some errors have a wider reeded edge or may even be partially smooth. Sound test: strike it gently on a hard surface. A brass-based planchet sounds different than a clad quarter, it rings duller. Magnification: check the surface under magnification. These experimental planchet coins often have fine striations and unique texture. Professional grading: if you suspect you have one, submit it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. It could change your life. Today, we're diving deep into the jaw-dropping, eye-popping world of one of the most valuable and mysterious error coins ever struck by the U.S. Mint, the 1999 D Georgia State quarter dollar. This isn't just any quarter. This coin, with a tiny but shocking minting error. The Georgia State quarter was the fourth release in the wildly popular 50 State Quarters program, an initiative launched by the United States Mint in 1999 to commemorate all 50 U.S. states. Georgia's quarter was officially released on July 19, 1999, and quickly became a favorite among collectors. Real auction prices from pocket change. You might be wondering, does anyone actually pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for one of these error coins? The answer is a resounding yes. Here are some real-world examples. 1999 D Georgia quarter on dime planchet. Graded MS66 by PCGS. Sold for $45,000 in a Heritage auction. The coin was lighter, smaller, and had sharp details, with the peach partially missing due to the smaller blank. 1999 D Georgia off-center error, 45%. Graded MS65. Sold for $28,750. The strike was so off-center that half of the state outline was missing, making it a visually spectacular collector's dream. Rumored mule with Roosevelt dime obverse, unconfirmed. Experts estimate its value between $250,000 and $350,000, based on past sales of other mule errors like the Sacagawea/Washington mule, which sold for $193,875. Georgia quarter double strike in collar, MS67. Sold privately for an eye-watering $75,000. Why such high values? Collectors are obsessed with scarcity and uniqueness. If a Georgia quarter has a once-in-a-lifetime error, and there's only one known example, the value skyrockets. This is especially true for first-year issues like the 1999 D Georgia quarter, making it a perfect storm of collector demand, historical significance, and shocking rarity. How to identify one? What to look for? Okay, so now you're probably wondering, how can I spot one of these rare error Georgia quarters in my own collection? Here's your quick guide to identifying a fortune. Weigh your coin. A standard Georgia quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If it weighs less, 4.9 to 5.2 grams, or significantly more, it may have been struck on a wrong planchet. Look for striking errors. Check for double strikes, where the image appears twice or shifted. Look for off-center strikes. These are coins that were not centered properly and appear lopsided. Examine the edges. A missing or partial reeded edge could suggest it was struck on a foreign or incorrect blank. A dime blank will result in an incomplete outer rim. If you think you found a rare Georgia error quarter, get it certified by PCGS or NGC. These professional graders not only confirm the error but also provide the grade that determines market value. We're diving deep into the astonishing story of the 2006 North Dakota State quarter dollar, with a rare mint error that could make you richer than you ever imagined. This isn't just another coin video, this is your golden ticket into one of the wildest, rarest finds in modern U.S. coin history. Let's rewind and understand what makes the 2006 North Dakota State quarter so special. As part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, launched by the U.S. Mint from 1999 to 2008, North Dakota's quarter was released in August 2006. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P mint mark, this coin paid tribute to the state's vast plains, wildlife, and rich Western heritage. Auction sales prices and values. Now, let's get into the part you've been waiting for, the mind-blowing value of this era coin. In 2023, a 2006 P North Dakota quarter featuring all three of the above errors double-struck, off-center, and missing clad layer was privately sold for over $325,000, with experts estimating it could fetch upwards of $400,000 in a public auction due to growing demand and its extreme rarity. Why so expensive? Scarcity. Only a handful of these errors are confirmed. Visual appeal. The coin looks dramatically different from a regular quarter. Multi-error combination. Errors like this rarely occur in one coin. State quarter collectability. Collectors love the 50 state quarter series, and error coins within it are in hot demand. In fact, experts at Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have confirmed that major multi-error coins from the state quarters program are fetching prices well into the six figures, often more than gold or silver bullion coins. How to identify a 2006 P North Dakota state quarter dollar? Could you be holding one of these rare quarters? Here's what to look for. Off-center strike. Look for coins where part of the design is missing or off the edge. If the rim is incomplete and the bison or letters are partially missing, that's your first clue. Doubled or blurred images. A clear indication of a double strike is blurred, shifted, or ghost-like elements, especially on Washington's face or the bison. Color difference. If the coin looks reddish or copper-colored on one or both sides, it could be missing its outer clad layer. Weight check. Use a precision scale. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A missing clad layer can drop that down to 4.9 to 5.2 grams. If your 2006 P North Dakota quarter has two or more of these signs, stop. Don't spend it. You might be holding a piece worth more than a Lamborghini. Let's dive into the shocking truth behind the 2000 P Virginia state quarter dollar, what it is, how it happened, and why it's worth more than luxury cars and beachfront homes combined. The Virginia state quarter, released in 2000 as part of the iconic 50 state quarters program, commemorated Virginia's pivotal role in American history. This coin celebrates Jamestown, the first permanent English settlement in America, established in 1607. The reverse design, created by artist Edgar Z. Stever, features three historic ships: the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery, sailing across the Atlantic. It's a striking and detailed design that instantly set it apart from other state quarters. Real auction sales price. Let's talk money. In 2019, a 2000 P Virginia quarter struck on a Sacagawea dollar planchet sold at auction for a staggering $350,000, and that wasn't even in perfect condition. In 2022, an even more pristine example graded MS67 by NGC was privately sold to an elite collector for a rumored $400,000 to $500,000. Let that sink in again. A coin minted for 25 cents, sold for $500,000, because of a fluke mistake at the US Mint. These values are only expected to climb higher, especially as more collectors become aware of this error and the coin becomes the holy grail of the state quarters. How to identify a 2000 P Virginia state quarter dollar. So, how do you find one of these ultra-rare coins? Here's what to look for. Check for the 2000 P Virginia state quarter design. It must feature the three ships and Virginia 1788 on the reverse. The obverse must say Liberty and have George Washington as usual. Look at the metal color and weight. Regular quarters are a grayish-silver color, copper-nickel. This error will appear golden or brassy, like a Sacagawea dollar. A correct quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, but this error weighs around 8.1 grams, the weight of a dollar coin. Check the edge. A normal quarter has a ridged edge. A Sacagawea planchet also has a reeded edge, but the edge color and thickness may feel slightly off. If you spot all these features, stop and do not clean the coin. Get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Today we're diving into one of the most mysterious and expensive modern state quarters ever struck, the 2001 P New York state quarter dollar, with a rare mint error that has sent collectors into a frenzy. Only a handful of these treasures have ever been verified. And their values? The 2001 New York state quarter was part of the wildly popular 50 state quarters program, launched by the US Mint in 1999. Each coin honored a different US state, and New York was the 11th state honored, released on January 2, 2001. The reverse of the coin features the Statue of Liberty in the foreground. An outline of the state of New York. Auction sales price: $80,000 to $170,000. Let's talk about the part you've been waiting for, the mind-blowing auction values. Here are just a few real-world examples of what these rare era quarters have sold for. In 2018, a 2001 P New York quarter struck on a Sacagawea dollar planchet sold for $79,312.50 at Heritage Auctions. That's almost $80,000 for a single quarter. In 2020, Another example in near-perfect condition fetched $122,500, with competing bidders driving the price up dramatically. In private sales and exclusive auction houses, rumors suggest that one museum-quality specimen, in pristine condition with full details and a dramatic golden color, sold for $170,000 in an off-market collector exchange. These aren't exaggerations, they're recorded results that highlight how valuable these coins can be in the right hands. How to identify a 2001 p-era quarter worth big money? Here's how you can spot a potentially valuable 2001 p New York quarter. Check the weight. Standard quarters weigh 5.67 grams. Sacagawea dollar planchets weigh 8.1 grams. If your quarter feels heavy or off, weigh it with a digital scale. Inspect the color. Quarters are silver colored. Errors struck on dollar blanks have a golden or yellow tone. Look at the edge. Normal quarters have reeded, grooved edges. Errors may show plain or irregular edges, especially off metal strikes. The mint mark. All of these high-value errors came from the Philadelphia Mint. Look for the P under. If you suspect you've found one of these coins, do not clean or alter it in any way. Instead, send it to a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication.